From lipo to breast implants, plastic surgery is not just the must-have for some of the rich and famous, but for everyday Americans. In 2008 alone, Americans spent over $10 billion on cosmetic procedures. But expensive price tags have led to people taking matters into their own hands, literally, with do-it-yourself, personally injected fillers, bought on the internet, or traveling thousands of miles to seek out black market back alley unlicensed doctors. Sadly, these beauty blunders come at a cost of a different nature, like disfigurement, and in some cases, even death. So beware, when it comes to plastic surgery, unfortunately, you get what you pay for.
Okay, I have an interesting story. A lot of people think that I wear colored contacts, but my eyes are naturally green. I was born with actually gray eyes, and when I was born, I opened my eyes, my mom screamed. She was like, "Oh, is this a demon? What's going on?" Because my eyes were very, very bright. They later turned green as I got older. But a couple of years ago, I had an assistant, and she was like, "Can I give you a suggestion, Tyra?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "We should do something called Tyra eyes, where you actually sell your eye color, like contact lenses." And I was thinking it was not a great idea, but I was, being polite, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so you're saying that somebody would come in and analyze my eye color and then recreate it and sell contacts?" And she goes, "No, we would just take your colored contact and copy that." And I was like, "Wait, how long you been working for me? And you think I wear contacts?" I thought it was crazy. To this day, I'm like, I cannot believe we've been working together that long. You think I have contacts? I used to laugh about that with her a lot. So we've all heard of colored contact lenses, okay? If you want to change your eye color, you get colored contact lenses. I mean, they've been around since what, the 80s, early 80s, you think, maybe 20, 30 years? But I have never heard of this, okay? There is a surgery that you can get to change the color of your eyes. A surgery. Take a look at this photo. This woman had her eyes altered from brown to blue. Not the best picture, but you can kind of see that they're blue in that picture, and that's not a colored contact. Okay, this is Shanice. Hi, Shanice.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm looking at you now, and that was you in that picture. I don't see blue eyes.
Yeah, okay, basically I went to Panama 4 months ago to get a new color iris implant, where they lifted a layer of my eyes and pushed a colored implant inside my eye on top of my brown color iris. After that, 8 days later, I went back to the UK, and the doctors told me that I needed to remove it because there was risk that I was going to go blind.
So that's your eye?
Yeah.
And that's the fake color blue on it?
Yeah.
Okay, but this was a spontaneous thing that you came up with. You were thinking about cutting your hair.
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Well, I wanted a dramatic change. I was sitting down thinking, what can I do to myself that I could change permanently, that I would be happy with? So I thought of cutting my hair really short, but then I didn't want to take the risk of it coming out wrong and not looking right. So I thought, because I have good features and nice eyes, I thought, why not enhance my eyes to enhance my features?
With surgery. Okay, but I've never even heard of an eye color. Have you guys heard of an eye color surgery? No. I've never heard of that. So how did you hear about something like that?
One day I was studying and something popped up on the TV commercial about laser eye surgery, so I thought maybe they may do permanent eye color change. So
yeah, we've heard of LASIK, when they actually correct your sight
vision,
so that you can not be nearsighted anymore or whatever and be able to see,
so
things.
I Googled permanent colored eye change.
Really?
And I researched from there, and I went and contacted the PA and found out whether I can get it done, whether I was suitable to get it done. He told me the procedures that I need to go through is to go to my eye doctor and get 5 different eye tests to find out whether I was eligible for the test. And he told me I've got to send a deposit to find out whether I could
send
hold
a deposit.
The place.
How much money did you have to send in?
$3,500 US.
Okay, so you put this money down, you fly on down to Panama, you call the guy at the surgery center, he picks up the phone, and what does he sound like?
He sounds like he's just laying in bed eating his lunch. He sounded very... he didn't sound very enthusiastic that I was about to spend $8,000 plus.
Yes. How much savings was that for you?
That was about 9 or 10 years of my savings. God.
So after surgery, well, actually before surgery, you rushed through a back door of a building.
Yeah.
The doctors rushed you through a back door did not look like a hospital at all.
Yeah, basically, I met the doctor at the hotel before the surgery. He seemed very panicky and in a rush. And it was 20 minutes before he actually originally told me he was going to come the night before. We got in his car. It didn't have a license plate. And we went down through like a car park into a building that was supposed to be the hospital. Then we went upstairs. He checked my eye pressure and some few other eye tests. He put some eye drops in my eye. My eyes were very blurry. Then he told me to sign a consent form. He said, look, before you sign this, I'm going to tell you that it's in Spanish. And I don't speak a word of Spanish.
And your eyes are blurry.
Yeah, and my eyes are blurry.
And you signed it?
I did.
So during surgery, what's going on? What are you feeling? Are you feeling anything? Are you asleep? Do you wake up later? What's happening?
Well, he told me that there was going to be no pain, and he's going to play instrumental music, so I won't feel anything. I'm going to be under local anaesthetic, so I shouldn't feel any pain. As he started, I felt a very sharp pain. I screamed out, and I told him to stop. He said, don't worry, you need to keep dead still, otherwise I'm going to hurt you. At this point, he was already hurting me. I couldn't move because he had instruments over my eye, so I was worried that he was going to pluck my eye out. So all I had to do is keep very still. I was in so much pain I couldn't cry. All I could do is squeeze somebody's hand who was beside me.
My gosh.
This was another helper of his. That was over in about 10 minutes, which felt like an hour, and then he moved on to the left eye. It didn't hurt as much because I knew what to expect, but the whole procedure was very painful.
What about painkillers after? Did he give you anything after?
No, as soon as he finished the surgery, he literally rushed me to put my clothes on and rushed me out of the hospital. As I asked him for painkillers, as I was in so much pain, he told me I've got to go to the pharmacy to buy painkillers.
When you look in the mirror for the first time after the surgery, what do you see?
A blur, just a blur. I couldn't see anything. As close as I went, my nose would be touching the mirror. I couldn't see the details on my face.
Ever able to see this eye, ever?
No,
Never.
Apart from just before they removed it.
You were blurry all that time?
Yeah.
And then did you have pain and everything?
I had a lot of pain. When I got back to England, I was in a pain for about a week after. I had gone to the doctors in the UK and they had advised me to remove it. That was the only time I actually got to see what was in my eye.
So they removed them, and then what was so now you're back to brown?
Yeah.
And then what was the damage? There had to be some damage.
There was a lot. I've now got cataracts in my eye. I've got an increased chance of glaucoma, and
what's that thing on the whole thing? What is that?
The doctor in Panama cut a hole in my eye and he didn't tell me.
That's what that hole is, that puncture thing?
That makes me extra sensitive to sunlight and UV light and any car lights.
Whoa. Okay, and you're a student now?
Yeah.
And how is it like with reading and stuff?
Well, basically, I've been trying to read since then, but it's very hard to focus. I see what I don't see, and then it jumps. The letters jump. I have a lot of blind spots. If I'm looking straight ahead of me and a child runs underneath me, I can walk into the child because I don't see them.
So your peripheral vision, anything outside of that is like can't really see. Board certified plastic surgeon Dr. Jay Calvert is here. Have you ever heard of this iris implant color change thing?
I have heard about it,
really?
And I actually consulted one of my LASIK eye surgeons in my building in Beverly Hills, and we talked all about this before the show. And he has actually seen a patient, which I reviewed with him, who had this procedure in Panama by the same doctor.
Really?
Absolutely.
The same quack?
Yes, and he said this is not an approved procedure. It is not accepted in his specialty. It's an operation where you're cutting the cornea off of the eye. You're inserting a disc which does not change its size. You know, the iris is like an aperture of a camera.
Oh, yeah, it goes whoop,
it
whoop,
opens
whoop,
and closes
whoop,
depending on how much light comes in or out. This is a fixed aperture. So at night, if your iris dilates to let more, you can't see anything. So you wind up with a very dark vision. It's fraught with problems, and it's really nuts that people would get on a plane and fly somewhere for this procedure when it's so suspect on so many levels.
Shanice, why not colored contacts?
I've tried those, and I put it down to laziness, where I didn't go back to colored lenses. I don't always wear colored contact lenses. I just wanted to change something permanently about myself.
You wanted to wake up in the morning and go, ah. Wow. What have you learned from this?
I've learned it's a silly, silly mistake that I didn't research properly, and I should have spoke to a lot more people about it before I got it done. And I just regret it. It was just a waste.
Do you think that you will be blind soon?
No.
No?
No.
What do you think, Dr. Calvert? I'm not so sure.
Well, there are a lot of complications that are going to come from this, especially if she's already having problems with peripheral vision, light sensitivity. I think the chance of a corneal transplant is very high, and blindness is probably a possibility if it's not treated appropriately by somebody who knows what they're doing, a real expert who understands the anterior chamber and the cornea. This is a high-level problem.
I mean, the eye is like, you can't get them back. And I just was like, wow, I'm just so happy that you can see now and that you're alive.
Me too.
That you're alive. And you have beautiful brown eyes, pretty brown eyes. You know that song?
Yeah.
You have beautiful brown eyes. We'll be right back.
Up next, this woman was willing to do anything to make her butt larger.
I knew it was over, like I knew I was gonna die, so I called my stepmother and I told her that something was wrong and that if something happens, tell my kids that I love them.
And later,
Hey, it's free, why not do it?
it was an offer she should have refused.
I felt like my armpits were getting like branded. I was getting branded alive.